Hello everyone, this is Planckera, and welcome to my universe. So, today, I want to continue just trying to get proportions and stuff right. I feel like I have a lot of the facial features correct relative to each other, but when I looked at it this morning, I realized that the angle of this hair sweep is off, and furthermore, I think her head is a little bit small. I went ahead and started trying to use my brush size here to kind of measure some things. And if I go from the top of my reference here, all the way to the bottom of her chin, roughly like right here, I think. Admittedly, the way I blew out the colors, or the values, so it'd be a little bit more interesting for me to draw. Makes certain parts a little bit hard to see, but it's okay. So anyway, from the top to the bottom of her chin is roughly this size, and you can see my head is much smaller than that. So I think that's probably also throwing me off in some places. And then I just want to go through and just quietly measure every little piece and get them in the right place. And from there, I'll probably do the same thing with the body. But let's just start with her overall head here. And I'll get some of these starting distances looking a little bit better here. And I see that, you know, because I have to make the head so much larger, I'm not even sure if that's big enough, but I need to move down parts of her body here. Let's push that down. We'll get that dark shadow that was coming out of the corner of her chin into place here. So I'm going to start with vertical heights, and I'm going to start with just the face. I'm not going to worry too much about her body for now. And I'm realizing the fact that I had her head so small might have also been why I was feeling like her hand was big and small at the same time. Proportional issues kind of balloon out of control like you wouldn't believe. Alright. So I just... You know, I should probably do more stuff like this with even just my regular drawings as well. Just make sure to carefully place and measure things rather than just go into pure chaos mood right away, but... I don't think I can fully... I don't think I can fully give up the chaos. Just because a lot of the reason that the start of my process is really chaotic is because I like to sit there and actually work out things like gesture and pose first. So I just basically say, okay, my anatomy and proportions are going to be terrible, but I got to get the energy first. The energy of the painting. And once I have that, then I can do a little bit better, and I can actually start measuring things. So I'm realizing, you know, I don't think I did this properly when I was getting started on this, and not just taking the time to quietly measure everything. I just went into my usual raw chaos mode. And I don't think that's what photo studies are about. I gotta, you know, just quietly measure everything out before I can really move on here. And you can see I'm being very particular about where the bottom of her chin is going here. So we're just gonna... I'm just gonna take my time. Gonna take my time and get everything just the way I want it here. Okay. So I think this is good for the location of her head, and probably the size too. So next, what I'd like to do is start getting the width of her head. So I'm gonna do it... How do I want to measure the width of her head here? I think I want two measurements. I want one from... that includes the back of her hair back here. Let me make my brush a little smaller so I can actually... Yeah, so I want one that includes the back here, and I want another that only includes, like, her face. So it does not include her hair. Probably stops somewhere around here. And maybe even the distance between her eyes and some of these other things. So, but before I measure that out and get the location there, the big thing that's actually bothering me is the angle of her hair here. As you know, the funky ear side, you know, I'll deal with that later. I still do not feel like the angle of her hair from here and this curve down to her ear is correct on mine. So I'm going to stare at that for a second. I'm going to stare at that. You know what? I changed my mind. I was thinking about that. I'm going to stare at it for a second, and then I'm going to try to correct the angle. You know what? I think I'm actually going to measure. We're going to measure. I want to measure the width of her forehead at the top here. So, I think I'm going to go from the top of the screen to the top of this eyebrow. That is pretty concrete and does not rely on anything relative to any other thing that I have put down. I can trust the frame here. Because I do have the same proportions in my drawing here, so that mine is bigger, like I blew it up, but when I made it, I put in the same values for the width and the height of the canvas, and then I just scaled it to a larger size. Okay. So this will be from the edge of the screen to roughly the top of the eyebrow. Okay, so it looks like I do have this one correct. Excellent. Okay. So I can trust the eyebrow for now. Let's do the side of her head to kind of the peak of that eyebrow now. Let's see. How do I want to try to get this measurement? I think I would like to get it from kind of the center of the brush here. This is the downside to using a circle. Maybe I should find a square brush. Actually, I can make this square. I just have to remember how to do it. I think it's like this. Yeah. Okay. We'll make this square for now. Okay, so I have the edge here. I think it'll be a little bit easier to measure with a square brush. So this is going to be the edge of her head to kind of the apex of her eyebrow here, where it starts changing direction. I'm trying to kind of feel out the highest point, and I think this is roughly the right size. So how is it on mine? I actually have it pretty close to right. If I narrow the head right here. Just get that a little bit narrower to be more lined up with the way I have the rest of the head. Let's see if that actually solves the discrepancy. It's pretty close. I will make the minor adjustment here. We'll just grab our good old liquify tool and slide it over just very, very slightly. Okay. Yeah, there we go. I think that's good. Okay. So let's see. Next. So I know that I have this eyebrow correct vertically. I have it correct relative to here. I guess I'll go with the placement on the side of her head here. Let's get this in the right spot. So I'm going to make my brush nice and big here. I'm going to go from the left side over to the side of her head. That seems about right. Let me make it just slightly smaller. I am not including the hair kind of going down here. I think that's hair. It might be something in the background. Yeah, I think it might actually be something in the background. Let me check the colored version. Nope, that's hair. Okay. So I'm not including any hair that goes down there. Ooh. You can see, I am way off here. So I'm just gonna move the entire thing over. I will include my cheating guidelines as well. So this will just be everything. We're gonna scooch her on over. And this tells me that my proportions on her body are probably very wrong. But you know, this is good. Okay, and rather than change the size of my brush and get something new here, I'm gonna go use my eraser. And we're gonna use the eraser to do a little bit of measuring too. So I will change him into a square, and let's see, I want to go from the edge to her shoulder. Like, I know the shoulder is completely wrong. The angle here, this is totally wrong. But I'm just gonna go ahead and get its horizontal positioning looking good. Okay, so it's like the edge of her shoulder before it kind of goes down into her arm. I'd say right about there. Okay, so like this. I'm gonna do a little bit of erasing without changing the size of my brush. Wish me luck. But I think I can handle it. Oh god, I do not like working with square brushes. Look at the aliasing. It's terrible. Terrible, I say. But it's okay. I don't want to change the size of my measuring tools right now. Alright, that's for the head. So here we go, and it will get a little bit wider as it goes into the arm, but I'm not going to worry about that yet. So let's just get this guy in the right spot. I think that's roughly correct. Okay. So now, I know that I can just move the head over, and I don't have to move the entire body. Because this tells me that her head is not sitting on her shoulders correctly. I will move her neck, though. So that's going to make some things look a little strange, but you know what? That's the purpose of this entire phase. We're going to make things look a little weird now, so that this way they will look good later. Okay, went a little bit too far. A little bit more. Okay, and that seems good. That seems pretty good. Let's go ahead, and I'm gonna switch my eraser back to a circle brush now. Get rid of this pain. And I'm gonna clean up the side of her head a little bit. So I know that this side is now in the right spot. So let's try to get the angle in place. I still have my measuring for everything here. So if I look over here, how does her cheek react here? Okay, so when I described this angle as pretty dang close to straight down, I was not actually correct. It has, like, look at the... I can't move my cursor, but you can see the green line around the rectangle there? And how up at the top of her head, where it kind of meets her hair, up near her eyebrows, the edge of that square is touching her face. But as it gets down, lower and lower, like even at her glasses, it is no longer touching the square. So I should try to capture that angle a little bit. Okay, let's get this in here. Okay. So, the head here needs to come in just a little bit, and I will adjust the hair accordingly. The hair needs to be a little bit longer. I'm going to hold off on painting that in right now. But we'll go ahead and start with this. Okay. So how is the side of her head here? I think she needs to be a little bit further to the side here, because when I zoom in and measure here, I see that her temple is like barely touching there, and in fact, it's not even quite doing that. So I'll go grab her head and neck again, and I'll just slide her over just a little bit more. Okay. Let's see how that is. Yeah, that seems a little bit better. And I actually think that I might have her cheek pretty good here. Let me kind of compare the angle here. Now that I have a perfectly straight line there, let me kind of compare here. Okay. So I see we have kind of up near the eyebrows there where it's touching. And then down here by the cheek, I see the angle going, you know, it's going. It's going further away from the square. Let me just try to gauge that distance. I am not good at this, so I will do my best. Okay, no, that's not bad. Yeah, I think I actually have it pretty close to correct. I think I do, actually. Let me just kind of smooth out this part here. There we go, and yeah, I think I actually have this looking pretty alright. Just smooth a couple of parts, and... there we go. I'm treating this very, very delicately, probably more delicately than I should be at this stage, but I really want to get that angle right. This is the outside of her head. That seems pretty important. Okay. Okay, so at this point, I've measured the height of the head, you know, where things are roughly here. I've measured that eyebrow, and where the side of her head is relative to the edge of the screen. So, I think what I want to do next is get this side of her head. Measure the other side of her head, so that will for sure get me the width of her head. And I think I'm gonna do it from kind of where her ear meets her, the side of her face there. That'll be one. And then I want to do a second one where her glasses are. Because I think that her glasses there kind of mark the front plane of her face. So we'll get the side plane and then we'll get the front plane. All right. Okay, how does this look? Maybe just a little bit smaller. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Just gotta push it over a touch. Yeah, that seems about correct. So this will be roughly where her ear is supposed to overlap. Not bad, actually. So I made her head a little bit fat, but it's not that bad. And that's probably why the angle of her hair felt wrong. Thinking about it. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock a few layers. There's this little lock button. You can see my cursor by my eye here. And clicking that will make it so this way I cannot change anything on those layers. Because I don't want to move the glasses, the eyebrows, or the eyes. But I do... actually, I don't really want to move her nose and mouth either. But I do want to move everything else. So I'm just going to use Liquify to push all of these things over just a touch. I wasn't that far off. Okay. How are we doing? A little bit more. I'm just gonna do it with Liquify. But I could probably do it with regular transform tools too. Mostly I'm just afraid of affecting this side, because so I think that makes it a little bit easier to use Liquify. I'm not going to worry about the shape of her hair up top for now. I'm just going to focus on getting this jawline where it needs to go. You can see I'm being very careful. It's close, and I don't want to move it too much. That seems about correct. If anything, I'm a little bit too far. But I think at this point it'll be a little bit easier to draw it, even with my abnormally large brush here. I have decent enough control here to be able to wrangle this, I think. There we go. And you know what? Just to make my life a little bit easier, I'm going to go ahead and add that kind of big white halo around her here. So I'm going to take my airbrush, and we're just going to brush in that halo there. I'm not going to measure it for now. I'll worry about getting it correct proportionally later. I just kind of want it to be there so I can see my values a little bit more clearly. And we'll just put it around her shoulders here. I am only focused on the head for now. And once I get all of these proportions correct, then I will get the body. Okay. That's good for now. Yeah, now I can see the edge of her jaw a little bit more clearly, so let's go ahead and I will check things again. Is this where it needs to go? I think so. That seems pretty correct. Okay. Now I want to get another measurement from her glasses. And the point that I'm trying to get is kind of when they start curving. So I'm trying to ignore the arm here. So I want this to kind of denote where the front of her face is. So do I have that right? And then I think I might even get one more after this. And let that be where her eyes should be starting. You can see I am a little bit off there. So let's go ahead and unlock all of those before I forget. And I will adjust the glasses. Okay. A little bit more. I am using my mouse to do so much drawing today. Okay. How about now? Let's compare. So I don't have the arm drawn correctly, but I think I have them in the right spot here. Okay, so seems good. I'm also gonna do the side of, get to the side of her eye. I think I'll do it from both sides. Using the edge of the canvas is really nice, I gotta say. Because the edge of the canvas doesn't lie. It's always trustworthy. Let me see, where is the corner of her eye exactly? Because I think I'll go for the dark spot. I know it's an eyelash and not like her eye, but it is very easy to see. A little bit more. Okay, right here seems good. So let's see where mine is. Pretty dang close, actually. So I got that pretty well. All right, nice. Let's just go ahead and tuck the corner in very, very slightly. Okay, that seems good. Let's get the other one. I'll just grab them both. Yeah, I'll do it from the... Well, I'm not drawing the fluffy part of the eyelash. So I'll get this one from, like, right here. Rather, I'm not drawing the fluffy part of the eyelash yet. You can bet there's going to be some fluffy eyelashes in the future. But it is not yet time. Right about there seems pretty good. How's this? Ooh. I was getting the feeling that the eyes were a little bit far apart. But this is interesting. Because I thought I measured from the edge of her face to that eye there. But maybe, I think I might have only done that for the eyebrow now that I think about it. Did I never do it for the eye itself? Did not. Okay. Let's get that on over. I have a little bit of wiggle room with this one since I am excluding some fluffy parts of her eyelashes here. And now I want to get the distance between the eyes. This should help me place the inner corners. No, actually I think I want to get this one from the edge of her head, since I have that in a place where I can pretty much trust it. So probably right about there. How am I? Very much off. Okay, so that tells me that I probably didn't need to transform this. I probably have it a decent size. I just needed to move it a little bit further to the right. Probably also tells me that I need to move the glasses a little bit too. A little bit more. And then I think once I kind of make this edge a little bit nicer, that will be correct. Let's find out. Okay, seems good. Alright, let's check here one more time. I want to kind of go from the edge of the head to the corner of her eye here. And this will again kind of help me visualize the front plane of her face. Okay. Do I have this right? Not quite. Okay. So I did need to look right just a little. Just a little. A little bit more. I'm actually surprised that the eyes are like this small. Not surprising coming from the anime artist. I'm too used to making them giant. Okay. So right now, I'm focusing on the corners. There we go. And just to double check, I want to make sure that I have the width of the entire eye looking good. So let's check that. So probably from right about here, I'm trying to exclude the eyelash for now. Yeah. It's maybe a little bit off, but I think it's within margin of error for my own ability to check the... to exclude that eyelash there when it's both under the glasses and very close to the same value as the glasses. So I think I'll call that good. Let me just check the side of the face one more time. So this should overlap like a little bit. Yes. Okay, so that seems good. Oops. Okay, now it's a little bit harder for me to do the same for this eye because of the hair, but I think I'll still do it. I'll just check it from the ear. Looks like the brush is going to be big enough anyway. Yes. Yep, just barely. Okay. So from the ear... Okay, so this one is also pretty far over. Let's go ahead and move them. Eyes are also a little closer together than I expected. While I'm just moving things around, I'm gonna do some more measuring with my eraser as well. Let's turn him square. I want to get the distance between the eyes as well. Because that'll help me figure out when I should liquefy and when I should just use my transform tools to push things over. Okay. This seems like a pretty good size here. I actually have them pretty good now. Okay, So the distance here seems good. So the fact that this guy is pretty far off from how I had things there tells me that this one is just too wide. And this eyebrow is probably also a little bit off, which isn't surprising because, like I said, the angle of the hair seemed a little bit off to me. Okay. So I'll start there. And let's see here. You're my... No, you are this one. Yep, you sure are. So it can probably overlap a little bit, but it shouldn't overlap a lot. Okay, this seems fine to me. I want to check the width of my eyes now, and the height. Let's do the width first. I think I checked this one, but, you know, let's check it again. Never hurts to measure a little bit more than you need to. Okay, seems good. It could potentially be a little bit larger than this. That is quite a bit. Just because with the way that this is done, there's going to be a little bit of margin of error here. I'm probably not going to get it perfect just because I'm trying to exclude those eyelashes. And how much I exclude will probably vary somewhat. But I think it's pretty close. So I think I'm going to call it good, and I might do some more measuring once it's time to include the eyelashes. How are you? You're pretty good too. Okay. Okay. Let's see. What do I want to get next? I think I'm gonna try to get her glasses. Let's see, and then the other... Actually, you know what? Before we do that, I kind of want to get her jawline. So I already have from the side, kind of to the shadow part. I want to get the side to this part of her jaw where it changes directions. And I also want to get the top. So I'll probably use both the eraser and the brush for this. And then I will somewhat painfully adjust things, but it'll be okay. It will be okay. That seems pretty good. That is pretty close to where I have it, so let's check vertically. I don't know. There's something about her jawline that doesn't feel quite right yet. Like, when I look at this angle here, it goes down like this, and then it has a sharp turn. And I don't see that in mine, because I see it go down like this, and it's very smooth. It's not right. Not right at all. So, I would like to fix that. Okay. So, like, this, I suppose? That seems about right. Okay, so this is when I have declared that it should kind of change direction. And where is the location of her chin from the side? I think I would like to get that too. So let's see, this is like the corner of her chin here. I've already kind of measured this out vertically, so I think that this is looking okay. Vertically. Where is the corner of that chin? Like right there? Maybe a little bit further away? Yeah, that seems about right. Okay, I don't have it that bad. Mine... The angle on mine isn't right, so I should probably kind of adjust that first. Let's see if I can do it without changing the size of my brush here. Is my brush control good enough for this? Oh god. I guess I could switch it to a circle as long as I don't change the size. Let's do that real quick. I don't like working with the square. I know I've seen a lot of people like swear by the square brush. I believe that there was a one guy that, like, named his entire channel off of using a cube brush. But man, it is not for me. I vastly prefer my round brushes. Okay, I cannot get the control that I want here, so I might just have to change the size again. It could be worse. Okay, yep, let's, I want to fix the angle of her chin a little bit here. You can see that the angle, it's kind of going up. Not surprising, considering that her head is kind of tilted. So it's going up a little bit. I can see the little fold here. So let's try to capture that. I want to do it without moving the bottom of her chin here. I think that's roughly correct. Zoom out a little so I can get them both in the shot here. Both in frame. Yeah, it's like I don't have this part by her mouth right, but I don't think I need to do that yet. Okay. Now I will switch my eraser back to the cube and we'll use it for more measuring. Let's see, what was I grabbing with you? I was grabbing the vertical height of here, where it kind of changes direction. I think I'm just going to put a mark on the page where that is. Okay. So it's right about there. And I will need to change the size of some things. So I'm going to turn my cheating lines back on. We'll go align those again. And I want... This one isn't really cheating, but I'll still put it in the group. This is going to be... jaw angle mark. Okay. And I will grab me some hot pink. Can't go wrong with hot pink. And it's like... Let's see, where is it on my current painting? Not quite at the bottom of the hair, kind of aligned with the corner of her mouth. So somewhere around here is where the jaw angle should change. Okay, and with that measurement... Okay, and what were you? Were you from the side? Yes. So from the side... Okay, so like... right about there. So that is where her jaw should change angle. And it makes sense, because I didn't have the top part steep enough. So now with that, I can switch back to my normal brushes and actually change the size of things again. Because I've got a little tiny mark telling me where this thing should be, according to my measurements. Alright! So let's get it in. First, before I do anything, I do not like how hard this is. It's thrown me off a little, so I'm gonna blend it just a bit. I'm not even sure if that's the right value, but let's get it to be if it's not. Oh, actually I had it a little bit too light. Oh, that's fine. Okay. So there we go. I got a nice little transition there. Okay. Now then. So we kind of see the ear in there. And from the ear to this location, I think this is going to be the value I want. So I will draw my line connecting here. And then from there, the angle changes and we get this kind of smoothness here. And once again, I'm trying to avoid changing the position of the bottom of the chin, since I already know that is correct. I'm just kind of making it a little smoother, but otherwise I'm avoiding adding to it or taking away from it. Okay. There! And that does indeed look a lot better. Man, I'm actually kind of amazed at how big of a difference that made. These things do add up, and it's very surprising. Okay. Her ear's not connected yet. I'm not going to worry about it. I don't want to deal with the ear right now. Okay. So let's see. What should I get into place next? Yeah, now I think it's a good time to do her hair. So let's get the hair in place. That is such a big, dark area that I think getting it into place will make a massive difference. So I'm going to go back to the square, and I'm going to find the top. I'm going to find this location from the edge of the painting to like the peak of her hair here. And I will measure from the top and the side. We will get it right into place. A little bit more, I think. Okay, there seems pretty good. Mine is a little bit too low. That does make sense. Okay, let's get it on up there then. Just gonna worry about the vertical for now. Oh, dropped my pen. Okay. So I think that's pretty good vertically. Let's do horizontally. I'll do it from this side. Actually, you know what? I don't even have to pull these shenanigans, because I'm pretty sure that I have the eyes in the right place. At least this one. Did I remember to check the vertical size of this? I don't actually think I did. So I should do that. And I'm trying to ignore the eye makeup, so there's going to be a little bit of wiggle room here. Okay. Actually, this is going to be pretty hard to do like this. So maybe I should do it from the eyebrow. Because I did check the top part of this eyebrow here. So the top part of the eyebrow to the part right below it is here. Although what I care is, oh ho. The part I care about is a little bit different. This is also pretty dang close to where it should overlap with the glasses. And that tells me that my glasses are much too low. Much, much too low. Okay. I guess we're fixing this first. I changed my mind. I was gonna do the hair, but now I'm doing this. Alright, well, I'll go ahead and get them into place. I want to make sure my glasses angles are good here. So if I have it like this, then I need to adjust everything accordingly. Which does make me think maybe I didn't need to liquefy it. I think I need to liquefy it a little bit. Because yeah, it's not the angle of the glasses that are the problem, it is their location, right? Because the angle that I sourced from the photo there is still looking pretty good. Okay. Probably means I just need to push the eyes up a little bit too, but... well, I'll check things. It's okay, that's why we're doing all of this. Because I felt like some things were way off and I was having trouble. And that's when I sat down and I was like, you know, I can actually use my brush as a pretty accurate way to measure things. If I try. Okay, and I would like to check something here. I want to check from the top of the canvas again to the top of the glasses here. Now, I don't think I have the shape of the glasses drawn completely correctly, so I gotta be careful doing this here. Okay, nope, this seems good. Let's get the other lens. The other lens is naturally going to be a little bit lower, just because of the tilt of her head. So I will get that part in there now. Okay, that seems pretty good. Okay, and indeed, this seems pretty accurate. Let me hide the eyes just to make sure. Yep, seems pretty good. I just don't have the shape of the glasses right. I guess I can do a little bit to fix that. Let's go ahead and get their shape just slightly more accurate here. I'm gonna turn on my glasses guide just to make sure I don't go stray too far from where I need to go here. Let me refresh myself on the angles that they should take. Kinda swoops up pretty sharply here. They're very round, so I should think of them more like a circle than a square. And right now I just have them a little square, I think. I just gotta make them a little bit more circular. And I think that will solve a lot of the current issues that I have. Okay. Kind of the same with the other side. Let's go ahead and shape them a little bit better too, where I see that this is the highest point and then it curves down pretty strongly here, and over on the other side as well. So we'll curve things down like this. And we'll curve things down like this. Get that nice round shape in there. I'm not even sure if this side is round enough, but seems pretty okay. I guess I'll take another look at it. Let's see, I think I can afford to shave a little bit more off of this side here. Make this a little bit rounder. And make things just a little bit rounder right through there. I'm not strongly concerned with the arm of the glasses just yet. Okay. Now then. I think before I'm going to be able to get the eyes completely correct, I need to get this eyebrow looking good. And in order to do that, I need to do the hair, but you know what? Nah, I want to get the eyes right. So I'm just going to measure from the top again. At some point, it might be nice to do a photo study where I don't measure from the edge of the canvas at all. And I just try to do things relative to each other. Because, I mean, if I was drawing from a real-life person, I would not be able to measure from the edge of the canvas. So something like that might be interesting to do, but for this one, I'm just going to do it like this. So from the topmost point of the eye, if I kind of exclude the fluff of the eyelashes, Again, I have a little bit of wiggle room because what exactly I determined to be fluff of eyelashes will probably change a little bit. Okay. But this tells me that I do have it a little bit tall. And I mean, you can see just relative to the glasses here. Something is definitely off here. I'm gonna have to push those corners way up. But I'll start with the top. And I want to err on the side of it being a little bit big than a little bit small, just due to eyelash fluff potentially throwing me off. And plus, I enjoy the animes, so I'm okay with my eyes being a little bit large. Okay, let's do the bottom. So the bottommost part of the eye is kind of here. And then I think I'll do the corners separately. Yeah. So you know what? I'll do this corner first. And that's a good idea, I think. Okay, so this is where this corner is going to be. Which actually seems pretty good right now. Okay, sure. Sure. I can tell that I don't have the bridge of the glasses in the right spot, but that's fine. I'll start with the corners of the eyes here. Okay, where is this corner supposed to sit? Where are you supposed to sit? Right about there? That seems about right. Where are you right now? Yeah, much too low. Not surprising. I think just looking at it, I could see that. But I wanted to be precise. I wanted to be very, very precise about this. And are you inside the glasses? You are inside the glasses. Okay. So yeah, that seems pretty good. Let's do the other one. So once again, I'll start with this corner here. Little bit lower than that, so I'll make my brush a little bit bigger here. Get it just kind of running through. Let's see. Okay, so this seems pretty good. And I have it a bit low. So let's get it on up. Another case of, I think that was fairly obvious just looking at things, but it's okay. It doesn't hurt to be precise. Okay, that seems pretty good. Let's get the outer corner now. Outer corner is kind of under her glasses, so it's a little bit hard to see. And I see that once again, it is a bit higher than the inner corner. Right about there. And then I think I'm going to really look at the angle and see kind of how far away from the glasses they are. That I will not do a precise measurement for. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. A little bit more. I'm pretty sure that corner is supposed to be outside the glasses, you know, just kind of almost right on top of it, so this checks out. Yep, I can see like you can see just a little tiny gap right there where it kind of starts changing direction. So it is just outside, and then the fluffy part of the eyelashes kind of overlap it completely. Okay. Now let's see, how much of this is supposed to be underneath here? I just want to try to get the angle there looking good. So I think this one is supposed to have a little bit less. So this should be a little bit closer here. Oops. Okay. I'm trying to avoid adjusting the top or the bottom too much. Or the corners, that I should say, too much. So I think they're looking pretty good. But I do feel like the bottom of her eyes here are fairly flat. Let me switch to my round brush again, so this way I can actually draw. And I'll start just rounding out a couple of areas here. We'll make things just a little bit. And it's a little tricky because her glasses are causing a slight distortion in her eyes. The parts in the glasses are a little bit magnified. But I think that's about right. I'm not gonna do like a full measurement here, just a little bit of eyeballing. But yeah, I might have a little bit too much here. So let's shave it down just a little bit more. Okay, that seems pretty good. And is my measurement for the distance between the eyebrow and the top and bottom there still good? So the part that I really trust is this. So running from like the bottom of that arc to the corner of the eye here. Because both of these should be accurate at this point. Maybe somewhere around there. Like I said, not going to be 100% accurate, but yep, that's about right. Okay, cool. Okay, and I think I want to check the angle on this eyebrow here, so I'm going to check where the bottom of it is. And that'll help me get the rest of the eye looking correct, I think. Right about there. So that should be like the outer or the inner end. I have that quite close. If anything, it needs to be just a little bit longer, but no, I think this is good. So now I can use this distance here, where I get the bottom of this. And let's do the inner corner. No. The inner corner I think is okay. I really want to get the top of her eyelid here. So here I have like the corners touching. Okay. Yeah, so mine still feels a little bit off. Okay. I will draw with the cube brush for a second here. Add it just a little bit more to there. Her eyes are just slightly larger here. Okay, that seems pretty good, I'd say. I want to check the angle of this slope now, just the top part there. And currently I feel like... I'm going to go back to my round brush, though. There we go. I think this part needs to be a little bit steeper. And this part needs to be a little bit less steep. That tells me that her eye might need to be a little bit larger still. I don't know if I've adjusted the shape of my brush here, but let's go ahead and make it square again, and I guess I should say the size of my brush. I did. Okay. We'll get that measurement again then. Bottom of the eyebrow. Yeah, that seems good. Okay. Okay. I think I'm gonna go back to the hair. Because I think I would like to do the hair before I do too much with that eyebrow. But this side is good. So I think everything over there is pretty okay. Maybe the glasses are still a little bit off. But still, that is pretty solid progress. Stretch. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead. So I think I have that part good. Let's do some horizontal distance. So from the edge of the canvas to the peak of where her bangs are here. Let's see. Not a little bit closer, so I want my brush to be just a little bit smaller. And you can see I'm being very precise with this. I want to get this perfect. Okay, that seems pretty good. Okay, so indeed, my angles are off. I want to be careful about adjusting the vertical location, because I had the vertical part right. In fact, it might be easier just to liquefy this. Oh, and I'm drawing on the wrong layer anyway. Oh, that would have been unfortunate. Might be easier just to do a bit of liquefy there. Okay, a little bit more. And I'll check top to bottom again as well, since I did move some stuff. Let's see. I think that's good. Okay, and that seems good. All right. So at this point, that peak should be perfect. Now then, how much space over from the side of her head here? Because this I'm pretty sure I have right. So how thick is all of this? And how far down does it go relative to this eye here? Kinda, yeah, just below it. With about this much thickness. So kinda like... I don't want to draw on the face here. Hue brush is fine for this, so it's all good. So like, right about like that. Okay, in that case I want the glasses above her hair. Okay, yeah, that seems alright. Now then, how far from the edge of her face over here does this bit of hair go? This is like the height. But I'm gonna have a hard time getting the width. So sure, let's get how high up it is. From like the bottom of that eyebrow there to the bottom of the hair bit. Right about there. Okay, so I see like right about here. Oh no, that's the glasses layer. I do not want to draw on the glasses layer. So right about here. Little low on the bottom there, but this is where like a little part sticks out. That's that little guy. And then there's a smaller lump right next to it. Okay. I'm trying not to adjust where the bottom is too hard. Once again, just because I think I have that in a pretty good spot. Okay. And about how low do things start getting wider? Yeah, it kind of lines up with the eyebrow. In fact, I'm not even sure if I need to do a full measurement here since I do have the eyebrows in good spots. So something like that. And then how wide is this hair bit here? So the outer corner there touches her forehead. Okay, so yeah, I have it about right. And I see that I had the wrong color, so let's fix that. There we go. No problem. Okay. So I think that part is all pretty okay. And then how big are you? So from like the hair part here, kind of looks like this. So a little bit taller than what I have. I'm just kind of blocking things in, so I don't care if it looks kind of bad right now. Okay. And I see when I have it about halfway through here, the corner just barely touches the edge, so I think it goes a little further out. Okay. And then at this point, I think I can just kind of adjust the curve. Make that look nice and smooth. Perfect. And then there is a slight bump here. But otherwise, the curve is fairly smooth. Okay. Now then, we gotta get tricky. So it goes roughly... So I should have this side of her head pretty close to right. So I'd say it's about that wide over here. And part of it is that, you know, the ear is doing ear things. That's why I said I'm not worried about the ear right now. Wait, why am I changing the size of the brush there? I'm not trying to measure mine. I'm trying to measure this one. What am I doing? Okay, so from here, the corner just barely touches. And that would be the point, you know, where the ear connects. A little bit above the corner of the glasses there. So yeah, right about here. So I have it just a little bit too far there. Probably means that all of this is a little bit too far. Okay, so that seems all right. So now I kind of want to figure out how I'm going to measure this angle. So I think first, since I know that this is right, I want to see how wide this part of her head is. Let's go ahead and get that measurement. I'm going to go to like the widest point there. Okay, that seems pretty good. So from here to there. Okay, so indeed, I do need it to be a little bit wider. And then how high up is that point here? If I go from the edge of the canvas, I'd say it's a good 3/4 down. Okay, so I think I have the lump there roughly in the right spot. I just need it to be a little bit wider. Just a little bit. So it's like this. Yep. Maybe just a little bit more. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Now I'm gonna use the same technique to try to get this lump. That one right there. Because that's another kind of wide point. Perfect. Okay. So that part I have too far out. Which makes sense. So let's go ahead and take it back. I kind of figured that I had her head going a bit too far out through there, so this is not surprising to me in the least. Okay, is there any point over here where it goes outside the box? Yeah, when it kind of goes into the big lump I just drew. I think I might have that a little bit too low. Let's find out. A little bit, yes. So I will shape that a little bit more nicely here. And once again, just trying to line up all my measuring here. Okay, so there's like divot here, and then it kind of expands above the ear again. So it's doing something kind of like this. It feels a little bit strange to me, but I think this is accurate. Not quite sure what the hair is doing there, but it's doing something. Okay. So out like this, and then kind of sitting on top of the ear like this. Like I said, it feels a little bit weird to me, but this does seem to be what the hair is doing. And I think I'm probably getting too much into detail here, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to go back to figuring out what the back of her head is like. And about how far from the top are you? A little less than halfway through that box. Okay, so I need to take a little bit more off the side here. Little bit off the side. How does this line up again? Okay, so it should go down and then like immediately feed into the big part. So yeah, how does that work? Because there's still something very off about my angles here. I was kind of hoping that my measuring would help me out. So I'm just gonna look at it real quick. And I'm gonna get rid of some of these bumps because I think they're throwing me off, and I'm just gonna focus on like a curve from the top all the way to the bottom there. Because it looks like it all just kind of feeds in through here. It is not longer than the ear, but I don't necessarily have the ear correct, so I'm not going to focus too much on that. Okay. How wide are we to, like, the edge of everything here? I think that might be a good measurement to take. I think it'll help me understand a little bit. So I will try. Okay, that seems pretty good. Yeah, I think I have that pretty good. That is excellent. But what I'm having trouble with, I think, is actually the distance from here to here. So let me use the corners of my brush here. So I'm not sure if I have this part correct, but Yeah, I at least have the size right, so yeah, something's not right there. Let's see, what can I do to get that? Let's get this eyebrow, and maybe that'll help a little bit. I'll get the top. I'll get the top of it first. So right about there. That seems right. We're just kind of get in the corner. Okay, no, that seems all right. How does that for the rest of it? Yeah, that actually does all seem all right vertically. Okay. How about from the edge of her head? So, kinda, if I'm including the part that's has a little bit less hair. Right here? Okay, mine does not come over quite far enough. Let's fix that. It was pretty close though, so that's good. A little bit more. A little bit more. Are they really that close together? I'm surprised. Let me check the width of this eyebrow then. Make sure that I have it in the right spot from the side of the face here. Little bit closer, little bit further. Yeah, right there seems about right. Yeah, this one's a little bit too far over. Alright, well let's fix that. It's like, I know I have the other corner, right? Come on, selection, why are you being like this? But this one was just a little tiny bit too wide. Just a little bit more. It's okay, this is exactly why I'm doing all of this. I want to work out all the kinks here. Okay, that seems pretty good. Okay, so this all seems all right to me. And I know that this eye is good, so how much space should there be between the eye and the hair? I'm gonna call all of this here the same chunk. I'm not gonna worry about this little gap in the hair just yet. Just because all of this makes one nice shape, so I'm just going to include that part. So from the corner of the eye, ignoring... just get the corners touching here. Let's get touching the corner of the eye, and... right about there. Okay, so unsurprisingly, this is coming out a little bit too much. So let's pull this back just a little. Okay. How about now? Are we good? I pulled it back a little bit too much. Fair enough. Overdoing things, you know, is how I roll. Still not quite enough. And I'm just getting a nice smooth angle all the way down because that's how it looks. Okay, and that's good. Okay, so from here to here is good now. I don't know, man. The eyebrow still feels really long to me. Let's see. I trust this side of the face a little bit more. Let's go double check where the corner of her eye should fall. Right about there. Yeah, I have it pretty good. And what about the corner of her glasses? Right about there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and separate this from the arm for now. just so I can see the lenses a little bit more clearly. So I'll do it like that. Okay. So that all seems good, I think. Now that I have the arm out. Yep, that does seem good. Just go ahead and add a little corner here where the arm will connect again. Okay, and then from the edge of her face. Let's see, let's get the corner touching. I'm trying to do things in a way where I can get the corners touching in specific spots. And that way I have a more precise measurement. So from the side of her face to the edge of this box's corner is right there. Okay, yeah, I'd say I have about touching. So how does the angle feel now? Yeah. I guess the angle of her hair feels okay now. The back of her hair still feels wrong. So I still don't feel like I have the back of her head right. Let's see, where is a fairly precise spot that I can use here? Let's do the corner. The point where the hair part is, and I will let the other corner touch the top of her head. Okay, so top of her head is a little bit higher up. So something like that. Yeah, that seems all right. Then how about corner of her glasses? Corner of her glasses to the corner of her hair is roughly like that. Okay, so indeed, I do not have it coming out quite enough. Let's see, edge of her head to the inner part of this eyebrow. Let's double check that, but I think I already measured this out. Yep, okay, so now I can use the corner of this eyebrow to whatever point the edge of the square touches. Right about there, that seems good. Okay, so I have it maybe sticking out a little bit too much now. I don't know, I'm just having trouble filling out the edge of this hair here. It still feels narrow to me. But I'm not quite sure how to fix it. Because that measurement says that I actually have it a bit too thick. Okay. So I guess this is fine. Yeah, I guess it actually is looking a little better now, isn't it? Just looking over. Okay, I want to get this angle here. So there's a point where, if you look at it here, let me make my brush small. This angle and this angle are different. So I'm going to find the vertical point where that angle change happens. The edge, it's right about here, I think. This is like the very center of the change. Okay. So how does that look? Oh, I've been drawing on the wrong layer again. Shoot. Whoops. Let's just pull this off. There we go. And do you have anything that is not glasses on you right now? Nope, you look entirely glasses. Perfect. Okay. Crisis averted. So there's like an angle change right there. And I think I have it at the right height. Yeah, pretty close. How How thick are things before that angle change happens? Let's see, from here to the angle change. Okay, so from where things part to the angle change is this far, and the very corner of the box does not touch the edge of the hair. Okay, so I have it a little bit too low. Get it a little bit higher. A little bit further to the side. Let me check the reference again. If I put the corner of it on the edge there. Okay. So I think right about there is where it should be. Let me just double check. It is a little bit less than halfway. So right about there. Okay, I can see it. And then right about there, the angle just gets a little bit steeper. A little bit less than halfway. I still need to send it a little bit further to the side. Ooh, that does get close to the edge. It feels a little bit scary, honestly. It's making me nervous. But I will trust. Okay, that's a little bit too far, thankfully. Look, man, it was making me nervous. It was making me so nervous. A little bit less than halfway. Okay, that looks pretty good, I think. And then it's just... I just need to round it out. Try not to adjust it too much. But we gotta round things out here. Okay, and then I see where the angle change happens here. How thick are things here? So if I put the corner... where should I put the corner? I don't actually know. I think this is one that I just have to look. Let's go ahead and change this to a circle. Okay. And it kind of comes down like that. There's a little bit hanging off over here. And I think something like that should be good. Let's go ahead and fill in the rest of the head here, just so that the value difference there doesn't drive me nuts. There. How's this? I mean, it still feels a little bit pointy. I want to round it out a bit, just so that this way it doesn't look super wrong. Okay, that little bit that I did at the end there was very bad. And I'm not going to concern myself with the bumps or anything yet. Let's just get things in. And I actually feel like right now, if you look at mine, I kind of have my line going this way. But I think on the actual reference, it's going a little bit more this way. So I would like to get that feeling in there. Okay. And now I want to do another measurement from the eyebrows to the part. And make sure that I don't have her forehead too big. So I will do it from this part of this eyebrow here. Up to the part of her hair. So roughly here, I think. Yep, seems good. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I think that's like the upper part of her head kind of measured out, but I still don't really feel like I have the back of her head large enough. Am I really not hitting the spots? Let me check from the edge of the canvas here. Edge of the canvas is so truthful and so reliable. I can't help but use it. No, I have it about right there. Okay, so that probably means it's something off with the angles here. I do see that it kinda... I'm just gonna keep it square. I don't feel like switching it. Has a point. I'm just gonna stare at this for a moment. But no, this all feels okay. Like, I haven't done the back part of her hair yet there. Maybe that's what's making it feel thin? Okay, well, if that's what's making it feel thin, then maybe I should get her ear. We'll get her ear, and then we'll do the back part of her hair and see if that makes the shape of her head feel better. How wide is the ear here? So from... So we had the angle change right there, so I have that marked. From the side of her head to the edge of the ear. I should be able to get both of those in a brush, right? No, it's too small. Okay, we'll do it from the edge of the canvas then. Okay, so this is where the tip of the ear touches. Okay, so I need it much larger. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do a hot pink ear. Okay, ear Mac, close enough. We're not trying to put a spelling bee here. We're trying to draw a picture, so it's all good. Okay, so horizontally, it's kind of right there. Right? Let's be a little more precise with that. But yeah, there seems okay. Okay. And vertically, the tip of it is right about there. So here. Let's move the horizontal mark up and let them intersect. So it's like here. Right about there. Okay, so that's where the tip of the ear should be. I'm gonna go back to my circle brush. Because god, do I hate drawing with the square brush. Okay. Let's go. So the tip of her ear should be doing something like this. Now then, what does her ear actually look like? God, that just feels so long. But no, it's lining up with her eyebrows and all the other basic proportions that I do, in fact, know. I just sometimes choose to ignore. Okay, so... yeah, I guess it's like this. And then it's just that... this part of the hair... let's see, what kind of thickness do we have here? I can just use my round brush for this part. This is fine. Right about like that. Okay, so... right through here should all just be erased. Let's go ahead and hide my cheating for now. Yeah, that seems about right, and then the angle of the hair is much sharper than what I currently have, so I want it to kind of go down like this. And then there's some loose strands and stuff going over the ear here. I probably want to kind of give some indication of them. That's good for now, I think. They're not quite in the right spot. This needs to be angled slightly differently, and... that should be good. Okay. So if this is roughly where the ear should be, let's get his angle a little bit more accurate here. Just so that this way, hopefully things will look a little bit more correct. I am doing this because I'm having a little bit of trouble with the back of the head after all. Okay. So now I should be able to tuck the hair back here and let it come back out. Like it does in the reference here. And then there's... I think I'm actually going to put this behind everything. Okay. And back here, like all of this is filled in. And there's a little tuft. Just kind of chilling over here. Well, we'll just go ahead and draw it in. Okay. Little tuft there, and then... yeah, it's like right even with the top of the ear is like that, and then it kind of comes in a little bit here. There's like a little bump. I don't really want to worry too much about the little bumps, but there we go. That should be fine. Okay. I don't know, man. Something still feels off about the back of the head. I think a small piece of it is I don't have the angle here quite correct. You have a little part sticking out right there. Let's just make sure that I hit the very top of her head right. And maybe that'll fix the back. Okay, I guess this looks fine. I might revisit it later, but I think this is good for now, so let's get the location of the nose. Okay. So nose, the tip of the nose relative to the top here. Little bit more. I think that's pretty good. Okay, my nose is just a little bit high. Where is my nose? There it is. Just a little bit high. But yeah, there's good. And you know what? I think I'm going to get rid of this light on the cheek here. Let's see, how wide is the nose? Let's actually just measure it relative to the eyes. How much further out does this nostril go relative to the corner of this eye? Just a little bit. It goes a little bit further than the corner of the eye here. I don't think mine is going out quite enough. So let's pull him out just a little. Corner of the eye is like right about there. And that's looking a little bit better. Yeah, I'd say that's about the same amount. How much further is like the big ball of her nose? So instead of using this as to like measure distance like I have been, I'm using this more like a plumb line where I'm just measuring straight down. Okay, so the center of the nose is a little bit further to the left of that. I'd say I have it a little bit too wide there, so let's push this in just a touch. And I definitely don't have the angle of the nostrils correct, but let's get their location good first. So let's say from here, straight down. The nostril just barely comes out. I actually think that might be correct, what I currently have. Maybe I have a little bit too much. Very, very slightly, but I think it has more to do with the shape of the nostril rather than the part coming out wrong. Okay, and about how much further away is that little shadow there? So this almost touches the corner of like this shadow. And I do have that drawn in there. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to erase some of this. This should help make it just a little bit more convincing. Okay, I think that's good. And then about how far away is... There's like a small angle change here. I think it might be easier to measure that with the bridge of the glasses, but I don't think I ever put the bridge of the glasses in the right spot. So maybe I should do that now. So how far are you away from like the corner of her eye here? Okay. So I think that's like roughly the thickness of this part of the glasses here. Okay. Just zooming in enough to help me take the measurements here. Okay. Today is a bit less exciting than yesterday, but I think the accuracy is getting pretty good. So I think I will just spend today. Today we measure. And then next time I will start locking in more values. Hello there, Shinora. And no worries, you can drop by whenever you feel like it. Alright, let's see here. Okay, I think that's a pretty good distance for the edge here. Yeah, and I do have mine too close. So let's erase a little bit over here. And that will affect a lot of these angles. I really should not have changed the size of my brush there, but I guess it's fine. Habits. I wanted to be a little bit more precise. Okie dokie. I'm hoping that soon her glasses won't look crooked. That would be pretty fantastic. Okay, yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good distance. Am I measuring from the corner here? No, but I probably should be. Okay, so that seems a little bit better. I want to see how much stuff is in this square. Yeah, really only the top part of the frame there. Okay, and indeed, it just barely comes out. Right now, I'm doing precise measuring. What happened? There we go, and now I can get these looking as round as I feel like I should. They were not looking quite round enough before, so this should help. Okay. I mean, it is a lot of people, but that doesn't seem like it would interfere with the picnic. You just need a big bag. Okay, let's round this out now. Because these glasses are fairly round. And I will check this angle again. Oh yeah, that is much better. Okay. Yep, definitely have to make things rounder there now, but I think this will help me fix the bridge here, and that would be pretty wonderful. Yeah, that's a lot of people. Hmm. Okay. There we go. Oh yeah, that's looking really nice now. I think that totally fixed a lot of my perspective issues that I had with the glasses. Okay, cool. You know what? Let's do it to the other side too then. I got the corner of the eye here. Maybe I don't want to measure it quite like that, but let's see, about how far until this finally touches. Right about there? Okay. Corner of the eye. Yeah, so right here seems alright. Let's see, what is inside that square? And is there anything that I should take away? Okay, so it does go in and out of the square a couple of times. Does go in and out of the square a couple of times. Okay, so this is telling me that I need this to come out this way just a little bit more. That is thick, but that's fine. I'll fix it. Fascinating. That seems like a terrible idea. As long as I know not to follow strangers, I suppose. Okay, so I think this is going out a little bit too far now. Let me check this. Yeah, sure is. Just overdid it a little, it's all good. Par for the course for me. Let's just tuck all that in just a little bit. So the corner is going to be like right there, and I think that's looking much better now. Okay. And I do think that this side needs to be like rounder. I guess I'll do that now. That's why I say, as long as the children know not to follow strangers, I guess it's okay. Okay. There we go. Oh, that is looking nice. Okay, how about this side? I think if I just tuck in this corner just a little bit here, that'll fix a lot of issues. Okay, and now to kind of try to correct the angle of the bridge. Because I think getting this will help me with many a measurement. And that is looking pretty good. I will draw the arms coming off later. They're not important right now. I still don't think the angle of my nose is quite right. Let's see, about how far apart? Between the nose, the bridge of the nose, and the glasses here. Probably something like this. And then this part of the nose. Yeah, a little bit more like this. And then the ball of the nose just needs to point a very slightly different direction here. Okay, then this nostril, I believe, needs to be a little bit closer to the edge of the frame here. But I think that's more to do with height than distance, because I knew that I had it wrong vertically. And the same with this one. Okay, that's not bad. I'll leave it there for now. Let's figure out where this mouth should be. I think I can trust the eyes at this point, so I will measure from there. The corner of this mouth. Right about there. So yeah, the corner of my mouth should be just a little bit higher. A little bit more. Okay, then on this side, it's a little bit more like this, where I have it a little bit high, which tracks with some of the problems that I've been seeing, so I am glad to see that my eyes aren't bad, and that I am seeing fairly correctly. Okay. And then if I take from the corner of the eye here, this one's a little bit easier to see, so I'll use this one to measure out the bottom of her lower lip here. Seems pretty good. Okay, I actually have that in roughly the correct spot, so I will push it up a little. Maybe a little bit more. And then how is that to the bottom of her chin? Because her chin should also be in the correct spot. Something like that. Okay. Yeah, it's about right. It's maybe a little bit low still, but this seems about right. Okay. And then I think I want to get the corner of the eye to the lip there. Where the lip is at, the upper lip is at its lowest point. Just something like this. Okay. That seems about right. Okay, and this tells me that I have it in about the right spot, but the distance between her nose and mouth, I can already see mine are further apart, so I'm wondering how I'm gonna get that and what is wrong here. So yeah, you can see mine are a little bit further apart. So let's see here. I'm gonna measure from the top. Right about there. Right about there. Yeah, that's about right. I mean... Okay, makes sense. I imagine you'd want to watch things in your language. Okay, so this tells me that I probably have the bottom of the nose in the wrong spot because the mouth is very much in a good spot. So what's going on with the bottom of my nose here? I'm gonna do it from the top of the canvas again. Okay, that seems alright. Okay, yeah, I guess my nose just needs to be a touch longer. Not a lot, just a touch. Okay, and I want to check each nostril from the top, too. So this one goes to about... Let's see here. There, that seems good. Okay, so this nostril is way too high. Let's go ahead and pull it down. You are just way up there, little guy. A little bit lower. little bit lower. And it kind of rounded out as well. I think I still have it a little bit too high. Let me double check here. Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh, wow. So I had that thing way up there. No wonder I couldn't get her nose looking right. That makes sense. Okay, this is why I am just spending all of today very, very carefully measuring things. Okay, that seems good. Let's get the other one. The bottom of the other one. Let's see here. Where are you? Right about there? Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, so where are you on mine? Pretty close, actually. Nice. Just want to kind of push down this corner. And at some point, I'm just going to have to get the shapes on the ball of the nose right, but it's okay. I just want to kind of measure out the location of these nostrils before I get too deep into things. But I'm pretty sure the nose is not going to look right until I get that correct. What the heck are you? Are you part of the mouth? You are. Go away. Okay. How wide is the nose? So this lightest point, the spot between the two nostrils. Okay. So the light spot between the two nostrils. Okay. I need you to come a little further over here. Oh shoot, I'm on the mouth layer. I need to be on the nose layer. There we go. Okay, seems good. Let's get each nostril. So I'm gonna go from the darkest part of the nostril here. So probably right about like that. Okay, my nostril is not wide enough. I think I thinned it out like that because I actually had it in the wrong spot relative to the eyes here, so I'm probably gonna have to move some stuff around again, but that's okay. I can do that. Let's just try to... Let's just try to get the nose proportions correct relative to each other first. And then I'll move it around. And hopefully things will just work out for me. Hopefully it'll just be okay. Wow, a little bit more. You are out there. I just had you totally wrong. Sorry, little guy. Didn't mean to have everything totally wrong here. Hope you didn't mind being squashed that hard, jeez. Okay, and then this one. I'd say about like that. Yeah, this one's a little bit narrow as well. I wonder if I took my measurements relative to the eyes poorly. Because these seem kind of incongruent. Okay, that seems better. Now then, I want to double check my vertical positioning one more time. Since I moved things around a little bit there. Okay, you need... to be a little bit lower. I'm gonna get rid of this dark shadow there because it does not exist. It is fake. A figment of my brain's imagination, and possibly a result of me moving things around a bit too much. Okay. And this should help me get the correct shape of the ball of the nose as well. Okay, that seems good. I will worry about some of these angles a little bit later. Okay, let's get the lower part of the nostril. Where are you, roughly? I want to include that shadow. A little bit more. It's just hard sometimes because the brushes in Krita expand and contract from the center. So when I make it a little bit smaller, I'm having to kind of adjust the position and whatnot. Okay, that seems correct. And then you. This little guy over here. Right over here. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. I'm realizing that this nostril is actually quite flat. Because when I put my box over it, the box goes through pretty much all of it. So I think here it's less of an issue of location. I think I have it in a good spot there. And more of angle. I need to flatten this outer part here. Let's see if I can get good enough brush control to kind of... Yeah, that's okay. That should be good. Okay. Now then, I'm gonna go take the measurements for the corner of the eyes again. Just drop it on down. Goes maybe halfway through that nostril. Yeah, that seems okay. And you. Just barely touches the outer edge. Okay, yeah, this all seems good. Alright. In that case, I'm gonna switch back to my circle brush, and... I kind of want to look at this angle here. So from here to here... Okay, I think I'm getting a feel for the angle that's there. It's kind of like this. So I don't think I'm too far off, and I want to zoom out a bit so this way I can see there's like a dark spot underneath here. So I kind of want to get that there. I think I'm exaggerating the angle just a little bit. So let's not. Okay. And then we have the bottom part of the nose. So let me compare these angles here. Okay. Yep, and I do think it gets thinner kind of near here, and then there's a little bit more of a dramatic line right there. Okay, and then this part should be a little bit kind of rounder, so that means I need more shadows on this side, because I already know that I have this side in the right spot. So I don't want to change that, but if I want to change the angle, that means I have to put some more shadows down here. Let me pick a shadow color here, because I think this is too light. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay, and then this dark spot is much too big. Okay. So this is the area by the glasses, and then there's a light spot kind of cutting in here. And then kind of more dark spots around the nose there. So something like that. And around the nose. Okay. Okay, this is much more looking like her nose now. Alright. I think I can be pretty happy with that. So I think like the last thing to do would be to get the distance between her mouth and the edge of her chin here. Let's go ahead and do that. I can just use my round brush for that. I don't need a square. So about this far away. Yeah, I have it a little bit too large. But only slightly. And then I want to measure out the rest of the body. And that is what I will spend the last hour here doing. We're gonna get all the proportions correct today. Okay, that seems alright. Yeah. I think that's looking pretty alright. The nose may be still a little bit crooked looking. But besides that, I might spend some more time on the nose if I have a little bit of extra time here. Ah, another big stretch. And okay, let's do it. So this shirt here is like the biggest landmark. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure that from the bottom of the screen. I'm gonna get the bottom of it first. The bottom corner is... yeah, I'd say right about there. I mean, it gets a little bit lower kind of around her cleavage, but I'm not really worried about that spot. Okay, so I do have mine too high. Okay, that's too low, but I think I also kind of want to measure out the distance from the side here. So we have this. I will go ahead and use my eraser as another measuring device. Just gonna take all the measurements here. Okay, so it's that far from the side. Okay, so I need to like cut out everything over here. Seems correct. And then the height is right like that. So a little bit higher. Okay, that seems all right. A little bit flatter up on the top here. Okay. Yep, seems all right. Now then, the top up here. How tall are you? Okay, about this tall. And how wide? How wide from the outer edge? Right about there. Okay, so here... Alright, you need to go much further over, so I'm going to erase a bunch of the jacket here. Actually, maybe I should just liquefy some of the shape. That works too. Okay, I'll start with that. So height, about up here, width, a little bit too far on the jacket move. So I'll go put this back. And I'll work it back and forth until I am satisfied. Because yeah, that was the pointy part there. So there will be some stuff that goes off to the side here. But the very top of it is going to be over there. So I think this might be okay. Let's just shape this a little. Okay. Draw in this. And how tall should you be? Okay, so I want to erase a little bit through here as well. Are we good? I'd say so. This is pretty alright. This is pretty alright. A little bit too tall. And we're just gonna leave things pretty blobby and loose for now, and this is kind of a concave shape, not a convex one like I have it. So let's take off that there. A little bit more off the top. Okay, I gotta make this smaller. I can't work like this. I tried. There was an attempt. Okay. So, the top is this distance, roughly. Okay, I still have it too far to the side. Let's just liquefy this over then. Oh, your jacket layer. Okay. Yeah, we want to liquefy on the shirt layer here. Okay. We're just gonna bring you on over. Height. Good. Width. A little bit more. A little bit more liquefy here. Alright, seems good. Now then, the other one that I want to take is the edge of the widest point. Okay, so there is a little piece that kind of sticks out, but this is where the edge of the curve is. Okay, so I have the curve going a little bit too far in. So we'll take it out just a little. Somewhat messily, since I am working with very large brushes in square as opposed to circle. But it's all good. I'll make it work. I will make it work. Okay. Close enough. And let's see, the very bottom here. That seems good. Okay, so I have it about right. Alright, so there we go. That's that point. And I mean, you can see it does continue a little bit, but it kind of fades into the shadow for cleavage, so I'm not going to worry about it. I want to go put the buttons down, because I think they will help me. I'll pick a button color, and I will use this to measure out the bottom. I'm going to go for the top of the button here, as opposed to the bottom. This particular detail doesn't really matter yet, but I do think that knowing where they are will help me. So I'm going to go ahead and do it now. And the outer edge of the button. Right about there. Okay. So this is the top of the button. Right about here. And this is the edge of the button. Move it slightly to the right. Okay. Oh, I was way off from where the top was, but it's fine. I have my fingers on the wrong keys. There we go. Took me a second to find the down button. Okay, seems good. And now, how large are you, Mr. Button? About this big. Yeah, I kind of figured that I had that way too large, but that's just how it all came out, so it's all good. So these are the points I care about, so I want to take out roughly that much. And I don't mind if it's a little bit square. But I think this button in particular will help me place the rest of the collar. So that should give me a bit of an easier time with that placement. So I do not think I'm going to put down the other button yet. It doesn't really matter. I'll put them down later. Okay, just a little bit more. And like I said, to be fair, the reason I'm having to shave so much down is because I was working with a giant brush. There we go. I think that's a good size, and like I said, I'll place this one later, as well as the little corner of her shirt here. Okay. Now then, what do I want to do next? Well, I know that this jacket is gonna rub up against the side of this here. So it'll be a little bit like... Let's see, do these... If I use this as a plumb line, do they intersect? Barely. Just barely. Okay. Now then. I kind of want to measure out her shoulders here, so let's see. The edge... Let's do the top of the shoulder. So that'll be like right about there. I'll take this one and this one over here. And that should give me a good indication of where these angles should go. Okay, that seems good. Okay. I want to take this down a little bit. Which will take pretty much everything here down a little bit. And I'm pretty sure I do not have the correct colors in here. Yes, indeed. We got some light colors there and some slightly darker colors over here. Okay, so I picked from this side. Whereas over here is a little bit lighter. Okay, fair enough. Alright. Now then, I'm gonna get the corner of the shoulder here. I will let the corner of this touch. That should be good. Let's see, where did I place you? Kind of near the edge. Okay, so I don't think I'm that far off here. You seem pretty alright vertically. Now, how about horizontally? I want to get the top of the shoulder here. Kind of the same spot that I was poking at before. Oh, that's not going to help me. I'll do it from the side of her face here. I will take the measurement from the side of her face here. Let's see, if I get the corner touching her ear, something that I have indeed measured out, where does it touch on her jacket? A little further. Okay, right there seems pretty good. So this is corner of the ear. Oh yeah, I am way out there at this point. So vertically this is fine, it's just horizontally, it's way off. I mean, to be fair, I did just push the entire body further to the right at the beginning of all of this. But yeah, I gotta take a lot off here. I'm just trying not to mess things up vertically on that side. Like, a lot. So much. Okay, that seems pretty okay, and when I do this, most of her shoulder is not in the box. So this needs to angle down more like this. Okay. This looks promising. This looks promising. Let's take a look. Okay, yeah, this seems alright. I might have the shoulder a little bit high or low now, so I should check that. I will check it from the ear again. I want it to touch this corner of the shoulder. Okay, I can't really get it to do that, so I should pick a different spot. How about the corner of her eye? Can I get that to touch the part of the shoulder that I want? Not really, but I think it's like it's made useful information, so... Okay, little bit out here. Oh, I have you locked. Let's fix that. Little bit out here. Okay, and from the top here. Yeah, I can't really get a good spot there, so I'm just gonna have to study the angle. But that's fine. Let's go ahead and get the distance between these two spots here. That seems about right, so I have mine sticking out a little bit too far here. Or... yeah, it needs to come closer to the edge. A little bit more. Okay, that seems good. And I believe that it curls this way. Alright. Now let's get the other shoulder. She has two, like most people. Okay, so the top of her jacket there, I'm just gonna get that collar. Okay, so right there. I think I have it too high. That's why I wanted to take an explicit measurement here. Yeah. We will roll that back a little. Okay, seems good. Now then, top to... let's see. Let's just get the lowest point of her shoulder here. I'll get the highest after. I kind of want to start with the lowest. Where it starts turning. Like, right about there. Yeah, that seems good. But this is kind of where it starts turning. So yeah, I have my stuff a little bit too low. Let's bring it up just a little. Now it's a little bit too high, but it's fine. Okay. And then the top of the higher part of her shoulder is gonna be... let's see. Right around there. So yeah, gotta come much higher up. As expected, I definitely did not have the angle of this shoulder looking good. That is why I'm taking these measurements. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, that seems alright. And let me try to get the angle a little bit smoother here. Okay, that seems good. Now then, the angle of this arm is totally wrong, so I'm going to take another measurement from the edge of the screen here to that part of her jacket that I can see. Right about there. Or is that just halo? No, that's definitely jacket. Okay, so right about here. Oh yeah, look how far off I am. Poor girl has like no arms here. Alright, let's get that in. No, I do feel like it, the angle of it is a little bit less sharp. But man, I have to get way out there. I'm just gonna pull this entire thing further out. And that probably is why her shoulder felt a little bit off here. I just had it way too narrow. Okay, a little bit more. Little bit more there. Okay, that was a little bit too much, but that's okay. Now we'll erase a little. Okay. And now that I've got that part of her arm, I would like to measure out that spot where the shoulder is turning. And that will get me all of these lovely angles of her shoulders. Okay. So where her arm is supposed to be there. Her shoulder is over there. Yeah, it's very much over here. It's funny, I didn't think that the angle of her arm was this sharp, but I guess it is. Because, yeah, the corner of her shoulder is over here. And her arm is over there, so... This is just my brain lying to me. It does that sometimes. Don't worry about it. Okay. So there we go. I think that's good for her shoulders. Now I would like to get her hand. And her hand, I think I'm going to measure just from the edges of the screen here. Let's see here. Yep, that's good. Where are you, hand? So yeah, it needs to come all the way out here. And I'll worry about angles and stuff in a little bit. Let me just position this. Yeah, there's like it does something like this, and then there's like a bump. Let me see, how far away is that bump? Because that's where the thumb is coming out of her hand. Okay. So that bump is about this far away. So it's gonna do something like this, I guess. And how high up is it? How high up is that little bump? Okay, that seems all right. Okay, good. I have it about the right spot. So it's going to come up here. Then we have this part of the hand over there. And I will kind of emphasize this just a little bit more. And how high up does the non-bump part of the hand go? It is highly curved, so I don't think I'm going to be able to measure this very well. But this is a start. Okay, and then it just kind of curves down there. So something like that. Let's see how far out her fingers are. You know what? It'll be easier to measure from this side. So I'll do it from this side. I was thinking I was going to do it on the other side, but then I realized that's ridiculous. Don't do that. You got a perfectly good edge right here. Okay. Man. Man. Okay, I did some drawing out on the reference, so I'm gonna crop the image here. Okay. Bop. Get that hand back to where it belongs here. And that's the longest finger. I picked the longest one. That's not even the one sitting right above it there. That's a little bit shorter. I guess the thumb extends a little further, and I didn't measure that, but... And I apparently measured with the eraser, which I think I'm fine with. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Okay. I think this is fine for now. I'll go ahead and figure out where the thumb is. And just the very tip of it here. Okay. So this is where the thumb is going to be. So I just let it kind of stick out here. I'm not sure if that's correct vertically. It probably isn't, but... Let's see, the tip of the thumb that I was just kind of putting down goes that high. So yeah, it needs to be much lower. No, I can't just bop down the entire thing, because this is correct. So let's push this all down. Okay, that seems all right. I should still have my thumb measurement in here just to make sure I didn't push things too far. Perfect. A little bit higher. Okay. And then that was like the... Where's the highest point here? Let's get that. Right about like this. I don't think I'm going to draw the knife yet. I am just going to draw out this part, and this is sufficient for now. There we go, hand looking a little bit more proportionate. Big stretch. Alright, I kind of want to figure out some of the details on her clothes. I call them details, but it's not really details, it's just... I want to figure out where some of these big shapes are, like, you know, this big shadow that kind of indicates where her arm is. The collar. And I guess her chest here I should probably put a little bit more thought into. I think I will also map out the shadow on her chin just a little bit better here. Or the shadow under her chin, rather, on her neck. I'm not satisfied with my current level of mapping, so... Let's get some of that in here. And it kind of comes out there. Okay. So, what I would like to do is I want to get those indications of her arms in here. So that'll be from the edge here to here. So let's get that. Let's see, so I have the edge here. Let's just... Okay, so I'll go from the thumb to where the box hits. And that will get me this. So start at the thumb, go to where the box hits. Right, like here. A little bit further side there. Okay. So we have it right about there, and I will get its relative thinness here. It is not a very thick fold at all. It is very small. I don't know what you're supposed to be, but you're not the right spot, so I'm gonna get rid of you. Okay. And then, like, this entire area is just dark. So I'll just map this out here. I will worry about the lighter parts of all that later. But all of this, it's all just dark. I'll get a few of the other values in there just so I don't get confused. But there we go. It's all just dark. Okay. Next. I would like to figure out the light parts here. So the lightest parts are just up top here. Oh, let me do that. Kind of comes down here a little bit. And then there's a part that kind of comes down here a little bit. And the rest of this is just kind of mid-tone. Here's a spot that comes down here. Okay, sufficient. Now then, the collar. I need to figure out how I'm gonna figure out where its location is. I guess I can just look at her head a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. In that case, I'm gonna go back to round brushes. I have used square brushes more today than I think I have my entire life. I never use them. Okay. So that's part of her chest there. That's fine. That can stay like that. So right here is fairly straight. So from her chin, where I have the top there measured, it's fairly straight. And then I'm just going to use the circle to kind of estimate this. How high up does the angle change happen? Right about here. Okay. So until about here, it's straight. And then it kind of comes down like this. And I know that I have the bottom of this pretty okay. Yeah, it kind of comes out. Goes back down. And becomes a little bit more straight again. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the distance between these two spots here. That'll be the thin spot right about there. So this will be where the shadow of the collar goes. I'm just gonna... Let's see, relative to the shirt, it's a little bit higher, so probably something like that. I'm not going to be super precise on this part yet. I don't think it's that important, but I just kind of want to get the basics in. And it goes... About how far is that? Right about like this far? Okay, so it sticks out pretty far. A little further than that, even. Okay, that should be good. And then, yeah, it just kind of connects over here, and then we get those bumpy parts, and that is sufficient for now. Okay, and then we have over here, which from the side of her jaw here, I'll take that measurement. To the edge, it's about that far. So yeah, I have it about right already. And then it's just kind of going out like this. And going in right above the button. Right above the button. And it probably curves back a little bit like that. Okay. That should be fine. And I guess I'll get a little bit of this guy. I'm not super eager to do a lot with him. He's mostly fine. I'll take this dark color. I can work with pretty much any value here. I'm not going deep into my values yet. And I already know that I have this curve roughly the way I want it. So I'll just do it like that. Okay. Yeah, that looks so much more proportionate. Man. Taking these 3 hours to just measure things out. Worth. So worth. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and draw her knife. I'll put that right under the hand. That'll be like the last big thing, and I might mess around with the background a little bit once I'm done. But yeah, I think I can work. I think I can work with this. I'll probably go hard on the face next time. We'll give her eyes, things like that. more accurately, I think I mostly want to mess around with the nose. But yeah, I'll start really breaking down values and stuff and carving things out. Probably break out my old friend, the opacity brush, that I haven't used in a literal eternity because I haven't done anything with opacity beyond airbrushing shenanigans in, like, forever. Can you believe that I used to draw realistically this all the time? I can't. It is time-consuming. Okay, so knife goes up to about there. So kind of halfway through her glasses. Like right here, I think. A little bit higher. Tip of the knife is like right there. Okay. Let's get the side now. Right about there. Okay, so I want it to go a little bit further to the right ear. Okay, I will keep it entirely within the bounds here. Okay, so that's the tip of the knife. I'm just gonna get something down and then kind of adjust it. So here, things stick out, and then it kind of goes straight down, all the way into the handle. Over here, things kind of come out quite a lot. It overlaps her arm near the bottom here. And it comes over here, and then we get this kind of shape at the bottom. So that's quick and dirty. And I can tell just by looking at it, it's not correct, but you know what? It's a start. Let's do some more measuring. Just gotta measure everything. Just gotta get it. It's a little bit tedious, but it's okay. It'll look so good. Okay, so kind of over there. I'm not sure how high up I should be doing this, but I can at least get the distance here and then measure the vertical height in a second. And it's pretty straight all the way down. I think it actually goes in very slightly, so this should be a little bit further away, right? Yeah. Yep. Sure is. And then it kind of comes back out near the bottom. Okay. So we got a shape kind of like this. Okay. How tall are you? Where is my angle change here? That seems pretty good. I do not have it high enough. Okay. So the shape is like this. And then it curls back here. My brain is melting slightly, but I really want to get this last thing in before I stop. Fortunately, measuring isn't quite as brain melting as what I was trying to do last time, so I'm feeling a little better than before. I'll take it. But brain definitely reaching limit here. It's okay. It's a good workout. It's good. Flex these muscles. I haven't used them in a while. Okay, so about this far. I've drawn too much anime. I put you in the corner. Okay. 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 And I'm just double checking my measuring here. Indeed, it comes out more. Gotta get more in there. And then this curve is quite round. And this part of our knife is not actually very long. I think I have the handle a little bit thick, actually. Let's check. So at the thinnest point, It's about that big. How big is my thinnest point? Yeah, not nearly large enough. Or thin enough, rather. And then it actually comes down, but it's covered by the thumb, so I'll get that later. You can see that the thumb needs to go behind things. I guess I can do it right now. So, like, this part of her hand, I'll just put that on a new layer. And we'll call it thumb. Okay, and now I can draw the rest of the knife here. Just let it kind of come on out. You know, this side is very straight. There we go. This side curves outward, though. Okay, so something like that. And I think I have exaggerated the curve a little bit too much on this side. So let's pull that back a little bit here. Okay, and then I finished the curve on this side, and I think this is close enough for now. Okay. I still got 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and mess with the background a little bit. I'll go ahead and finish off this halo. That's kind of going around her because I was not precise in my erasing. But you know what? It's fine. It makes her a little easier to see. Okay. And we get some lightness over there. I can tell that you know what? I should fix that right now. There. And I want to make my eraser circle again. I don't want to end stream with the square brush. Please no. Alright. So down this side, the halo is actually much darker. So I will go ahead and darken it over here. And then I don't know, I've got these random blobs here and there. Let's go play with some random blobs. We'll color pick some halo, we'll color pick some blobs, and we'll blob. Be a nice way to relax after all that. Just blob. I'm not going to be too much of a stickler on the background here. It doesn't matter. This was all just random stuff that I blurred. I just don't want it to be too boring. I might even just put something random back there. I don't know. We'll see what I feel like doing. We'll see what I feel like doing. But it's really not that important. I just want to mess around a little. And I want it to look a little bit more like the photo that I have here, so that this way I don't get stuck on just random things. Be like, huh, my values don't look right. Oh, it's because the background is weird and I don't have all these random blobs of color in here like I do in my reference, and because that sounds like something that'd be easy to mess up. It does. But you can see, I'm not, like, doing precise measuring or anything. I'm just kind of eyeballing where these things should go and trying to make them look kind of good. Or something. Maybe. Well, we'll just make things look a little interesting here. Little dark spot by the face here. Okay. We'll go ahead and add a little bit more of a light spot over there by her shoulder, and yeah, I think that kind of has the same feel as the random stuff I put in the background now on the photo. So this should be fine. This should be fine. I might give it a different background once I finish it off, but I think this has some of the same ideas. And I should be able to copy values fairly easily here, but yeah, with all that measuring, it really looks like the photo now. It really looks like her. I'm very pleased. I thought it was looking pretty good yesterday, and I could at least kind of make out the likeness, but now I think it's actually pretty strong. Never mind the, you know, blank, black, possessed eyes. Don't worry about it. That'll probably be one of the early things I fix tomorrow. We'll see. The nose is still what bothers me the most. So I might end up doing the nose first, but... there we go. Getting there. Yeah, we'll still see how far I feel like pushing this. I will do this 2 days next week in Cube 3. And we'll see how it looks at the end of next week. And if I want to do more. But for now, this is where I will stop. So, thank you all for coming. I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.